Hey folks, how you doing? This is John Mueller. My YouTube channel is Love Alive. Today we're going to address radio silence, the single most difficult task that I have had to face over the last 95 days that I've been out of my home. I struggled with this one for almost 3 months. Brutal. Failed. Tried again. Failed again. Longest I could go is 2 to 3 days. Tough. If you take a look at any other YouTube videos about radio silence, they'll tell you it's tough. It's hard. Almost impossible. I didn't give up. I kept trying. I found my success. It's called a five-prong approach. This is how it goes. Prong number 1, get a rubber band. Throw it on your wrist. Every time you think about texting, snap. Every time you think about making a phone call, snap. Every time you think about sending a text, snap. Send a letter, snap. Change that thought into something positive. Change the topic of your thought. Think about something you're working on. Maybe you want to go do something or treat yourself. If you can't snap your wrist, then just say snap. That's prong number 1. Prong number 2, set your smartphone alarm for 9 o'clock every morning. When it goes off, it's going to say no communication, or it's going to say radio silence. As a reminder, it's a good way to start the day. It's prong number 2. Prong number 3, I set a goal for myself of 22 days. I don't know how long your period of time is that you want to maintain radio silence. Maybe if it's for as long as you have to, then you just go 1 month at a time, I suppose. I had 22 days. That was my goal. So I typed out on 2 pieces of paper each date in a single column all the way down, 22 dates. Then I took a scissors and I cut between each date. So they were each on one strip. Individual strips attached to the paper. So at the end of the day, when I successfully gone no contact, I tear off that strip of paper that relates to that day and I throw it away. So that is prong number 3. Prong number 4 is I took all the contact information, emails, text, telephone number, and I changed those numbers and those email addresses to myself. To my own personal telephone number, my own personal email. So her name comes up, but the email address or the telephone number is mine. So I just end up calling myself or texting myself. If I'm going to mail a letter or a card, I'll go ahead and address it to her, get it ready to mail. I won't put a stamp on it though, and I'll throw it in a box. You can always send it to yourself. That's fine. I don't understand that. Just, the fact that you're tossing it in a mailbox, I guess, helps somewhat. I just do not stamp it, throw it in a box. And finally, the 5th prong, which is the most important one for me. This is when I had my epiphany. This is when I finally turned the corner and said, hey, I can do this thing. Is I created in my mind, with my imagination, this trip that my wife is taking. She needed to get out of the country just to clear her mind, rejuvenate the spirit, work on her spirituality, whatever is good for the soul. So what she did was she planned a trip to fly to Nepal. And there's this retreat in Kathmandu. It's a Buddhism retreat where she's going to stay for 22 days. They don't have any Wi-Fi there, no smartphones, no computers. They don't even get mail there. The mail goes to the general delivery in Kathmandu. So after 22 days in a retreat, then she can always pick up her mail if anybody sent her a letter or something to that effect. So that's where she is now. It's been, I think this is her 4th day at this retreat in Nepal. I couldn't text or call her if I wanted to. So that's the 5th and probably the most important prong to this radio silence technique. All 5 of those techniques or prongs strung together. Boy, that's the best approach I've found, and it works. Number 1, rubber band on your wrist. Number 2, each day that you want to maintain radio silence, print it out on a piece of paper into strips. Tear them off one at a time as you accomplish those. Number 3, change all the contact email address and telephone numbers. And number 4, set the alarm to go off every day, 9 a.m., no contact. Number 5, she's actually in Nepal at a retreat. It's awesome. I actually printed out a black and white picture of this mountainside retreat somewhere in India and put it along next to a description of this place that she's at right now. Say no computer, no internet, no smartphones. So that's the package, and good luck to you. It worked for me. Bye-bye.